Hello and welcome to Warblog. Today, I'm going to play the Battle of Aouzou. I was just looking through this, it's been a while since I've looked at it, and I thought, hang on, what's this? It's quite interesting, it's a sort of, if you've not looked at it for things for a while, it can be quite hard to sort of place the situation. You know, I mean, there's no country names, no borders, it's just sort of this splodge of sand and hill and mountain. It's all come back to me now though, but I thought I was looking at it and I thinking, well, I'm going to play this. Essentially, the Libyans basically tried to take this place off of Chad, Bardai. They do that, and then they are beaten back by Chadian forces, and then the Libyans simply reinforce heavily, and after 3 attempts take it. At least that's what the blurb says. So I'm just going to sort of do it. So there's three infantry companies in there, and here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. Most of them battalions. 1, 2, 3. Well, 4 battalions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies. It doesn't matter. They're all pretty strong, much stronger than these. So they've got 3. We've got 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So 24 to 3. I mean, even if they're in hills, it's still pretty overwhelming. But that's just the first lot. So let me just sort of see what can be done. They don't really only want to move 2 spaces, don't they? Well, so much for surprise. It might be interesting to come this way. Interestingly enough, I'm going to take out this stack here with my air power, because the rules have changed slightly. I mean, look at that. Now, it shouldn't really have gone that far down, but it has basically done 2.5 damage against this artillery unit. So that's permanent damage. The 0.5 is permanent. They should be able to recover on these, but with a second assault, 1.6, so that's quite nice. Let's put them up to 2.4, so that's 0.4 permanent damage. 1, so he'll probably recover. 0, 1.6. So, you know, that was quite effective. Before, just to sort of reiterate maybe the obvious to people that follow the game, because it's such a large stack, it would have been stupid to have attacked it, because they would have had a defence of 8, 12, 14, 16, 20. So, you know, the bigger the stack, the higher the defence, and the less chance of actually doing any damage. But now it's actually just, you know, the chance of attacking this is like 80%, 60%, 40%. That doesn't mean it inflicts damage, but you know, you actually stand a chance of doing damage on everything. And because these got a lower defence, they got a little more damage inflicted against them. So now it's actually, the point is, it's good to keep. It means that if someone stacks a lot of units high, they're vulnerable, which is sort of a semi-voluntary stacking limit, because it's, you know, now you probably not want to put everything into one stack. Also means that anti-aircraft is probably a little more useful, and artillery is quite vulnerable to airstrikes, which is what maybe you would expect. But artillery in its own right is very powerful. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can't fire at them yet. So unreal. I don't know what's happened. Okay, now chop the bottom of the map off. Okay, so now it's the Chadian move. Well, in the what's going on? Okay, I'm trying to think. But the air power has upset me. Although, to be quite honest, I could probably do the same now. See, this is where the air-to-air, this is what the two boxes here, the red is for counter-air patrol, and in theory it actually works, but it doesn't actually function at the moment. And it's a bit squiffy, as you can see there. Sort of reloaded it and put it back into there. But anyway, I'm going to use my air power in there. I mean, look at that big stack. So let's see. No effect, 0.2. Oh, what did I do there? I really need to sort that point thing out. 0.4, 0.06, 0.3, 0.2, 0.5. What does this add up to? 0.6, 0.86, 0.3, nothing, nothing, nothing. So not a significant amount of damage. I wonder why. Maybe it's because they're in desert and they were actually in mountains, making them difficult to hit. Although it was a mountain pass, so that was probably it. They had a much higher defence, but they're suffering the same fate. They don't want to be kept in a stack. Now with this, I think what I'm actually going to do here is make an advanced move. Or not. Now what I want to do is, let's just move that out there. So we've got the artillery, so we've got some armour. Let's see how far we can move this armour up. How much movement has it got left? 2.2. So what I'm going to do here, let's move the armour. Well, clearly it doesn't want to go there. Move it there. No, so that's as far as the armour is going to get. And I'm going to split everything up. We've got some more armour here. Okay. Well, that's mechanised. Didn't want to do that. I thought it was the armour. So how much has it got left? 2.5. Okay, so what I've done there deliberately is something to keep everything. So if I'm getting airstrikes, I know these are doubled up, but they're in the hills, so I think it's okay to double them up in hills. And that's that. Okay. So now what to fire on? Well, the armour is always a pretty attractive target. The artillery might be good. To be quite honest, I think I'm going to go for the artillery because I do want to take it out. I'll go for the one that's not hit yet. Now the difference, now that you split everything up, basically it means that I can actually target the artillery as opposed to hope I get it when it's in a stack. 2.2, so that's nice. And I'm going to use the other one against that. If I can take out his artillery, I think that would be good. 1.4. So he's at 3.9. Okay. So what have we got in this stack? We've got some armour. So let's push the armour forward first and see how far that goes. Can I put the armour into the mountains? Nope. Well, I've already determined that they can only move 2, so if I keep doing that, I'm going to end up stacked up. Although in hills, I think I can go for 2. What I'm going to do, I'm going to push a couple this way. Okay, well that seems to work. Two movement. It's easier to move through the hills than it is to go through a track through a mountain. Okay, I'm going to toy about leaving that there. He doesn't have any movement left. It took him everything to move into there. Oh no, he's got 1.5. Oh, he's only got 4 range. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, it's very slow going for the artillery. Okay, well, nearly 15 minutes. I'll take a break and see you in a bit. Okay, so it's certainly not the sort of take Bardai out, then these units reinforce, knocking the Libyans out. The Libyans haven't actually even got there yet. And the main damage so far has been through air power. I think that's all of the Libyans moved. So it's now the Chadian turn. Now the Chadians, I think, I'm not entirely sure. I sort of think that they need to be thinking defensively, although this is a definite issue. Now, taking out the opponent's artillery, I think is going to be fairly critical, but that's a tempting target too. In the mountains, in the open. But I can probably engage that fairly quickly. Let me just try that. .6. 2.2. Can I actually get anything there to engage him this turn? Probably not. I'm going to send my armour is at depression 1. I could leave him there and recover. He's at 2.4. I could leave him there. I want him to recover. He's heavily trunced, and so is he, but he could probably recover significantly enough. He's depressed. I don't have anything that's not. He's not depressed. So mechanized, you can get a 2-to-1. Now it sort of leaves him vulnerable, but I can knock the odds up slightly. I want everything else. I'm going to leave everything else. I don't want to move anything else there. And I'm going to commit myself, I think, at least one strike on. Let me see what I can do against this artillery. I sort of want to pound it. 0.8. No, well, that was a waste. Okay, so it's 3.8. I could have sort of maybe tried to maneuver something around there, but I really want to keep this stack at least up to that, up to 6. It gives me a little more of an edge. I mean, rough calculations, it's going to be, ordinarily it'd be 6, 7, 8, so 2-to-1, because he's mechanized versus soft skin, so that'll knock him up about maybe a 3 or 4-to-1. 5-to-1 DE, I mean, that was perfect. I did that because sort of engaging the Libyans at this stage, this thing is going to be fairly critical. And removing a unit will have a significant effect. I mean, if I hadn't removed that, he could have had 3 units, including mechanized, getting that sort of surround. He could have moved that to there. He could have been attacking me from 3 hexes. Now, you know, my defense is 6. His maximum attack will be 6, 7. So he can get a 1-to-1. You know, he's not really going to get much bit better than that. Possibly he could have got a 2-to-1 if he'd had that other unit. It's not perfect, but I think, you know, taking the opportunity to counter strike down there whilst these units regroup, I think will have some effect. I mean, the only thing is, I am sort of thinking on the fly because I'm doing the video, but I've only got one little company in the mountain here protecting the pass through to Bardai. But even if the worst happens, these units will all still be able to pile onto Bardai next turn. There's nothing that's going to stop them. So, but it is sort of placed a lot of my capability in that sort of passage there. So that's that. So here we go. There's a whole bunch of more Chadian units, so it's not looking good. Already, I feel that the Libyans are thinking maybe it is time to retreat. I'm going to leave the artillery in the mountains, but I'm going to fire it on this stack here. .7 on that. Not great. See, he's recovered now. His units are starting to recover. Okay. So the question is, having really not done anything against them, what can they do? Taking that hex there would be useful. These two hexes I think are fairly important. Can't get into that hex there. He's going to be worth. I think he's going to be worth 3 in the mountains. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1. I've got my air power. But I really want to commit it against that. I mean, he's got another tasty stack over here. I mean, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's the problem with stacking. I mean, last time I did a major assault against a big stack, not brilliant, but I'm going to go for it again. No effect. We've got 2 onto that one, so he's now at 2, 1.1. That wasn't brilliant, but last time I did that, it forced basically the entire bulk of the units to just sit there recovering from the damage, and some of them are not going to recover. I had the option about really pounding this artillery again, and maybe I should have done that, but I sort of, because this is a one-off, I mean that stack will probably split up next turn. It wasn't as appealing. If I can get that to there, put this mechanised in there. Let's see what we can do here first. Well, it's only going to be a 2 to 1. We've got a bit of a surround. I'm feeling lucky. Defender retreats. That was lucky. 3. That was a good die roll. Could have gone a lot worse. I can't follow up on that, but that's given him the depressions and he's moved him out. He'll just be able to move back in next turn. That's one of the problems with this sort of style of movement. And these guys have all moved fully. They can't even engage in combat. Now this one, is worth 6. So I might get a 1-to-1, possibly a 2-to-1. But I'm going to go for it. I'm not feeling lucky this time, but that's usually... Holy flip-flops. Look at that explosion of... I wasn't feeling lucky. That is the Libyans well and truly stonkered. I mean, what's that? Depressions 2, Depressions 2, Depressions 2. What does that do? What does that imply? I mean, can this unit now come around here and cut this road off? You know, I mean, these units are isolated. I mean, this little company here is now on its own, and there's all these units down here to take that. It was the only opportunity I had, really. I mean, it's not the end of the world. But when I didn't feel lucky and I did it, and I got the 12, it's sort of like, well, what do you expect? Okay, so I think the Libyans are now trying to sort of contemplate. He's okay now. What I can possibly do. Now, what I do want to do is exploit this somehow. Now he's depressed too. I could press on that, but I'm not sure I can really. Now that was a 2-to-1 last time, and I was lucky. So I can move back in there. It means I don't recover, but at least maintain that hold. It might be easier or better to actually move into there and attack into there. There's a mountain hex though. What I'm going to do, as much as anything else, is I really want to try and get this artillery. Point 8. Point 2. Point 6. So he's now at 3.4. Not brilliant. Better than nothing. I'm going to move everything into here. See what I can do with the artillery. Can't believe it's almost 15 minutes again. No effect. Seven to 1, what was that? So it's worth 1, 0.5 times 3 for the heals or something. Yeah, that makes sense. And what was the score? Defender eliminated. Well, that's another 15 minutes, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I just did this attack. Had a 15-minute pause there. I'm only going to be able to do a maximum of 4 videos because you can only stitch 4 videos together in YouTube now for some reason. So I should have my movement back. I've got some movement, so I eliminated that unit. So already the front line is looking very bad for the Libyans. Let's see how far I can get along here. Okay, I've gone into a zone of control there. Point 6. Depression 1.4. I'm going to leave these artillery units because every time they fire, they count as having moved. When actually I've already fired them, so it's tough. I'm actually going to commit my thingy units in a much more sort of dynamic posture. And what I'm in the back of my mind here, I'm thinking more strategically and flamboyantly and just coming all the way around here. I think I've got enough to hold these units off here, and then just sort of, once I get over this hill, be able to sweep around here. Now I don't seem to have any air power left. Maybe I should have paid more attention to the belligerent list. Okay, so what have we got here? So what I want to be doing is getting around here. Oh, right. It's got 5 movements. Thing is, can I bust that unit out? So he's got a fraction of a movement left, which means I could do an assault here. So that would be 6, 7, 8, 14 versus his 6, 12, 18. I'm not going to get good odds against that. So he actually has 5 movement. I want to really push him. Okay, so now I'm stuck in the zone of control, but next turn I can start going after that artillery. Okay. Libyans. The Libyans still have air power. Now they've been harassing this artillery. They might now want to start focusing on this. Now what are their military objectives here? I think really going further forward is now no longer key. So what I'm going to possibly do is move this unit back here, and this unit back there. However, I could actually move him out there, there, and then into there. Moving him there. Let's see what I can do with this motorized unit first. Okay, well that protects the artillery, so that's all good. That's zone of control to zone of control, so they're going to be stuck there. But what can I do here? Probably not the best of positions to be in. Okay, so we're now falling back on Aouzou. Protected the artillery. And so I think I'm going to go for the artillery units again, especially seeing as they're now stacked up. No effect. Grrr. Well, 1.1 against that artillery, pushing up to 2.3. This artillery is depressed, so I'm not going to move him in an attempt to at least recover something. Okay, so now it's the Chadian player. Give us some more air power. Okay. Is there an opportunity here? Not really. I'll leave the artillery where it is to recover. So this unit has got no depression, so we'll see how. Okay, this is going to be in a zone control. No depressions for him. Okay. Well, he's got depression 0.4, but that might be permanent. Depression 2. Definitely leave the artillery to recover. So the only thing that's left are possible strikes, and I think this is the only place where I really stand any chance of making any ground. I've got 12 versus 6, it's going to be 2 to 1. Is he depressed at all? He's got 2 depressions. Let's just pound him with the air power. 0.2, 1.8. Okay, it all adds up. So he's now currently at depression 4. Makes him easier to hit. 1.4. So he's now at depression 5.4. So that's a good chance of making some ground in there. I think the armour gets a bonus against the mechanised infantry, so that should be even better. 7 to 1. So I had 17, so that's 6, 12. Presumably I was probably 9, 15 times 10%, 16. Let me think this through. So I was worth... Let me just have a look at the rules. Okay, so tank versus mechanised is 1.2. So I would have been 6 times 0.2. So that would have been 7.2. 13. I don't know how that got to 17. 7.2, 13.2 times 10, 1.3, 13, 14.5 that should have been, but I don't know, maybe there was some sort of factor in this as well that just didn't go particularly well. I mean, what I mean is the maths might be hard a little bit, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I got him to brilliant odds, crappy die roll, but I got him to retreat. I've got no movement, well, not enough movement there. And I've got some movement there though. Do I really want to actually spend it getting there? Possibly. Because then I can at least maybe stonk in there and get the artillery next turn, which will force him to do something, probably just move that back, but still. Okay. Well, it looks as though that's about as much as these units are going to recover. The artillery has at least recovered a little bit, I think. So the Libyans, well, I think, to be quite honest, I think what I'm going to do is go like that, that, and I'll leave that there. Now that puts him. Let's see what we can do with the air power against this mechanised unit. No effect. That's not what we wanted. 0.7, better than nothing. So he's worth 4. 12 in the mountains. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's just no point in doing that attack. Anyway, it's coming up to another 15-minute thing, so I'll leave it at that and see you in a bit. Okay, well this is going to be the last video because I can only stitch 4 together in YouTube. I've tried doing the live screening thing, but the quality's not that good. I guess in a few years' time technology will be pretty good. I won't even need a strange application. I'll just be able to do it from the browser or something. But anyway, that's irrelevant. I'm just looking at this unit here. See, there's 2 in there, and I've got movement. Do I want to sort of shuffle one of these along to this armoured unit? Probably. Okay, well I think that's the Libyans. I don't think I want to attack that. If I hadn't moved in, I might have been able to take those 2 units anyway. Well, I sort of lost the initiative there. This is so interesting. I think they've recovered as much as they're going to, so I'm going to commit all of these now. I like the way you can sort of sit the units there and just let them recover, because they're essentially part of the way these things work, and they're sort of reorganising things. And now they can start to move forward. I'm getting quite excited about this little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, because I can start to outflank these quite seriously and come down there. Shame the video probably won't last that long. Now, can I oust this unit? That was good. So still got some movement left for him. Okay, I'm going to try and push into here, but before I do that, I'm going to put in some air power. This is depression like nothing. 0.4. 0.4. No effect, so he should be at 0.8 now, which is better than nothing. And I'm just going to plough. Oh, let me do the artillery first. No effect. Oh, look at that, 6.6. That's unreal. I suppose he has got 7 versus his reduced level. Okay. Well, still not going to be nothing, but six, 12, 18, 24, 25. I think that's going to be enough. Seven to 1 and a DE. Okay, that was what I needed. Sort of 3 movement. I don't think it's enough to get him into there. But just enough to get there. Okay, so I could try this unit here. Depression 6.4. Seven to 1, good die roll. Defender eliminated. This is looking really good. Because that front line is really sort of piled around there. And then we've got this. So it's going to be worth, it's got a slight depression, no depressions, it's going to be worth 5, 10, 15, 6, 12, 18, 20, 26. He's got tanks and I don't have anything. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remember that feeling I had before when I was not feeling lucky. And not do anything. Okay, now it's a very satisfying game actually, because there's a definite line, a definite overwhelming line, and the Libyans now really have fought back and fallen back and formed a line, and I think that's what it's all about. It seems to be working quite well. I wonder when the reinforcements come on. Oh well, I probably don't have time for thinking about that. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. So, Libyans are really going to have to fall back. If we can get the artillery into there. Well, at least put them there. It's not ideal, but it's a line. And there's a reasonably big stack there. So let's hit it. .4, 0.2, 0.6, 0.6, 3.8. Okay. Well, this stack is now in hills, not mountains. Look at this. That is perfect. Okay. Okay. Air power. The thing to reiterate at this moment is the Libyan reinforcements have not come on yet. I mean, when they do, the situation will be reversed. 0.1, 0.14, okay. It's looking good. Well, that's not so good, but something. Fairly disappointing in total, but gives him 1.4, 1.6, so that's pretty good, I guess. Let's send in the artillery one at a time. 1.7, 2.3, okay, let's put him down to 3 and 3.7. Let's try some more artillery. Oh, look at that, 6.2. So that is well and truly put that artillery down, put that armour down to virtually nothing. So I think I'm going to just put all of this stuff in, because otherwise I won't be able to move anyway. I can save that one for an attack on that unit. 7-1. Sometime today. 7-1 DE. Die roll of 6. Just don't have time for the next move. Let's see what we can do in there. It's going to be tight, I think. 4-1 DR. Okay, well that's it. Got 7 seconds left. It's looking pretty much as though at this stage Chadians are going to win.